When it comes to feeding plants, most gardeners reach for fertilizer without a second thought. It's quick, convenient, and honestly, the results can be almost immediate. But while fertilizers deliver nutrients directly, there's another silent force working beneath the surface that offers something far more powerful in the long run: earthworms. The question is, which is better for your garden's health, synthetic or organic fertilizer, or a thriving population of earthworms quietly working in your soil? The answer goes deeper than most gardeners realize. Fertilizers, whether chemical or organic, provide nutrients in concentrated forms. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the primary elements that support plant growth, and fertilizers offer these in carefully measured ratios. When applied correctly, plants absorb them quickly and often show signs of improved health: greener leaves, more vigorous stems, and faster fruit development. But what fertilizers don't do is build soil. They bypass the ecosystem and treat your garden like a machine. Add input, get output. Over time, this approach can degrade the very structure and biology that plants depend on. In contrast, earthworms feed the soil so that the soil can feed your plants. Their presence isn't about fast results, it's about establishing a thriving underground community where nutrients are released slowly, moisture is retained efficiently, and roots have room to breathe. Earthworms tunnel through the soil, improving aeration and drainage. Their castings, often referred to as black gold, are packed with nutrients in forms that plants can easily absorb, along with beneficial microbes that help roots uptake those nutrients more efficiently. The difference between feeding plants and feeding soil becomes critical over time. Fertilizers often provide a short-term boost, but they don't improve water retention or microbial life. In fact, overuse of synthetic fertilizers can lead to salt buildup, kill beneficial microbes, and create hard, compacted soil that struggles to retain nutrients. Earthworms, on the other hand, constantly recycle organic matter, creating a living environment where nutrients are unlocked naturally, avoiding chemical imbalances and soil fatigue. When plants grow in worm-rich soil, they benefit from a slow-release nutrient system that adapts to their needs. Castings don't just supply nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, they also include calcium, magnesium, and trace elements, all in highly bioavailable forms. These nutrients are held in the soil longer and don't leach away with every watering, which is often the case with synthetic fertilizers. As a result, plant growth becomes more balanced, root systems become deeper and healthier, and the overall resilience of your garden increases. There's also the microbial advantage. Earthworm castings team with beneficial bacteria and fungi that form symbiotic relationships with plant roots. These microbes help plants absorb more nutrients, defend against soil-borne diseases, and recover from environmental stress. Fertilizers simply cannot replicate this living partnership. While a fertilizer might feed your plant, it doesn't build the army of helpers underground that keep your garden healthy year-round. Cost and sustainability also enter the equation. Fertilizers must be purchased regularly, and often require exact timing and proper ratios to avoid overfeeding or burning plants. Earthworms, once established, reproduce on their own, improve your soil continuously, and require no added input beyond organic matter such as compost, mulch, or kitchen scraps. This makes earthworms not only a more sustainable choice, but also a more economical one over time. That's not to say fertilizers are inherently bad. There are definitely times when a nutrient boost is necessary, like with heavy-feeding vegetables or, in newly planted beds. But even in those situations, combining fertilizers with an effort to build worm populations creates a balanced approach. For example, using compost tea alongside worm-friendly practices like mulching, no-dig gardening, and burying organic matter can feed plants in the short term while nurturing the long-term health of the soil. In raised beds and container gardens where soil often lacks the complex layers of an in-ground system, earthworms are even more critical. Fertilizers might green up a plant in a container, but without worms or microbial support, the soil can quickly lose structure and vitality. By introducing worms through worm castings, worm tubes, or bait methods using materials like alfalfa pellets and kitchen waste, gardeners can bring life into these small ecosystems and reduce their reliance on synthetic inputs. Another advantage of using earthworms over fertilizers is the reduced risk of environmental harm. Runoff from over-fertilized gardens contributes to water pollution, algal blooms, and long-term damage to aquatic ecosystems. Earthworms don't contribute to runoff. In fact, they help prevent it. Their tunnels increase water infiltration and reduce surface erosion, keeping nutrients exactly where your plants need them. Ultimately, the best feeding strategy isn't about choosing between fertilizer and worms. It's about understanding what each offers and prioritizing long-term soil health. Fertilizer may deliver a temporary fix, but earthworms provide a foundation. One is a supplement, the other is a system. When gardeners shift their focus from treating soil like a feeding tray to nurturing it as a living organism, everything changes. Plants grow stronger, pests become less aggressive, and yields improve not just for a season but year after year. The most successful gardens aren't those with the most fertilizer, they're the ones with the most life underground. Earthworms, often overlooked, are among the most powerful allies any gardener can have. Instead of relying solely on bags and bottles, try feeding your soil in a way that invites these living workers to stay. Add organic matter, keep soil moist, avoid unnecessary digging, and just watch as your garden begins to regenerate from the roots up. If this guide helped you rethink how you feed your plants, don't forget to subscribe to Hydro Haven for more practical tips that let nature do the heavy lifting. Share this with a fellow gardener who's ready to stop chasing short-term results and start building truly living soil. Your earthworms and your harvest will thank you.